having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. So good, so good. Yeah, lately I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. And got up in the morning, took a shot, it's the rock. And girl, you left my stomach in a knot. Took my lighter and you burned the bridge. Thought you was a writer, no, you just an idol. You got me feeling like Big Sean in this 5, 4, 3, 2. I deserve a minute, wait a minute. Gotta get up and over, regain my composure. No longer my lover, finally finished and you did it. Girl, you really showed me, think with your heart, don't think with your body, clever. Sorry not sorry, sorry not Justin Timberlake, write me a river. Lately I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. You tried to convince me it was all in my head, and I felt like it's not you, it's me instead. I wanted to rock with you, roll with you. Said you was my baby girl, then you left me too. Everything was kosher, perfect like a poster. Then I got word that you wanna leave a picture. Off with somebody else, off with the jerk. Shame on me, I really thought that it could work. Off with somebody else, off with the loser. Shame on me, I really thought we had a... Lately I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. So good, so good. Yeah, lately I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. And got up in the morning, took a shot, it's the rock. And girl, you left my stomach in a knot. Took my lighter and you burned the bridge. Thought you was a writer, no, you just an idol. You got me feeling like Big Sean in this 5, 4, 3, 2. I deserve a minute, wait a minute. Gotta get up and over, regain my composure. No longer my lover, finally finished and you did it. Girl, you really showed me, think with your heart, don't think with your body, clever. Sorry not sorry, sorry not Justin Timberlake, write me a river. Lately I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself, cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. You tried wish that you was me instead. Ay, I wanted to rock with you, roll with you. Said you was my baby girl, then you left me too. Everything was kosher, perfect like a poster. Then I got word that you wanna lead a picture. Off with somebody else, off with the jerk. With the shame on me, I really thought that it could work. Off with somebody else, off with the loser. Shame on me, I really thought we had a. Lately I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Coulda had some.
Yes, global greetings. Welcome to another edition of the Topics here on Real Entertainment Network. It's another beautiful Tuesday evening. I am Yahsonn Tafari. I want to say good evening to Oli and Layamiga, indigenous names given to these islands that we now call Nevis and St. Kitts. I also want to say good evening to the rest of the entire Eastern Caribbean. I also want to say special whether it's evening, morning, afternoon, day, depending on where you may be around the globe. I want to say welcome to another edition of the Topics. I want to encourage you to go on over to the YouTube platform, subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so that you are informed and notified every time Real Entertainment hits your medium. So this evening we have our usual co-host Bankie Shabazz King, and we have very special guest this evening with us, Alexis Fox Browne. And this evening we're gonna talk among a number of things, the fishing industry, and some of the things that this brother has been doing over the years in terms of fishing. And we are going to speak to, as we would say locally, pick his brains, so to speak, to get some of the wealth of knowledge and experiences that this brother would have had, whether it is here in Nevis and Kitts or wherever he would have traveled. Many of you may know him based on, what he would have shared with me a little bit earlier. He has been a fisherman or in the fishing industry for a number of years and now also provide a service in that industry that is very unique. I don't know if he's the only person that does it on the island, but I know he's very much well known for that here on TV. So we're gonna learn a little bit more about that. But before we do, what we're gonna do, we're gonna give Bankie the opportunity to introduce himself, and then we are going to take a little time to give Mr. Browne, Alexis Fox Browne, an opportunity to share a little bit of his background, his history, because the thing is, we are on a wide platform, Fox, and a lot of people might see you on there. They might know you, but there's a lot of people who will be good to get the little background, a little story from when you were small and where you grew up and all that. Think about that in the meantime, how you're going to present that to us while we give Bankie that opportunity to introduce himself. So greetings, Bankie. Welcome to another edition of the Topic.
Yeah, greetings, Yahsonn, and greetings to our guest, Fox. Greetings to you, and welcome to the Topics. Definitely looking forward for the reasoning this evening. Yahsonn, let me say good evening to our guests, those who the listening audience and viewing audience. Also, let me say good evening to those over in St. Kitts and wherever you're at. Also, this evening, Yahsonn, remember this is Carnival going on in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, so a lot of people is on the island. I've seen a lot of faces that I know. So people coming out from Boston, people here from Orlando, New York, all over the place. So remember to, while the party and having fun, be safe. I always have a designated driver and stuff like that. Also tonight, Yahsonn, is the big night market at the Bastille market and the waterfront and the Bayfront, usually call it. So the abattoir will be taking place down there. So definitely go out and get your smoked chicken, your ham, your rotisserie chicken and stuff like that. whatever it is you're looking for, just go and check Gary. So products only limited, so definitely have to go. And these are limited amount of different choice cuts, meats and bacons and all these different smoked chicken, smoked ham, all kind of different stuff. So Gary told me he was down there since sent down his shop early. So definitely looking forward for the rush and the people coming to get all the different choice cuts and meats from the abattoir in Nevis. With no one like Gary, so I mean, I don't know when he leave the department how a man like he gonna be replaced and stuff like that. So the minister got the hand full. That's the most I can say. To understand Gary, you need at least 10 years to get it right because he don't master and know all the recipes. So it's something hard to fill. I mean, I do some training on the Gary myself. So go on out, support the night market. Everything should finish around midnight tonight. So these are a good time to go there early. They'll definitely have all kind of fresh fruits and vegetables, rabbits, probably have monkey meat and all these different stuff, fish and cooked food and all these different things. So definitely it's a good event. I'm not sure if tonight is a Queen show and stuff like that, but definitely the event, the festive season is in full swing. And remember, tomorrow is Christmas Eve, where shopping and stuff going on and all the long and all different entertainment going on and stuff like that. And following the Christmas Day, but remember, farming don't have no half days, so that's why I wanted to get Fox as our guest. At the same time, he's a man of wisdom and a godly person at the same time, and work in the community with other young children. So definitely, it was the right person. I think it was the right person to pick to finish out the year with. This Friday coming up will be Viewers Appreciation Show, and a yearly review of some of the shows that we did, and the viewers can call in and say how they appreciate the shows that we did, or whatever they want to say when it comes to Yahsonn and myself, and which shows their favorite shows, and we'll have a few gifts to give away. Well, mainly a book when it comes to finance. Cash's Queen, which was donated by one of our viewers, and I still have a few left back, so I think those will be appropriate gifts for each person to have in a household when it comes to finance from an early age, when it comes to young children and stuff, mainly for girls, but anyone can use whether male, female, kids advice, which is well laid out by the author Devisha. I mean, Tomlinson, which is a beautiful book. So it's something I really want to pass on and give out and stuff like that. So also, definitely, as I said, looking forward for the using with facts. Yes, and so just as I say again, just want to encourage those people to go out and sink it and support the night market and stuff like that. So, Facts, good evening.
Yeah, I just want to say good evening to the house, listening public. I just want to share some wisdom, some knowledge, some history. Anything that would be of interest to the listening public, also the house. I so much appreciate for you to invite me. And this ain't the first time, this ain't the second time. I mean, this is a thing ongoing. And I really appreciate these things because one of the reasons is that me ain't got plan to leave Nevis to go to place. So in spite of that, anything that I can do to really push Sinkage and Nevis forward. And agriculture is something that we cannot live without. We cannot live without that. So whatever we can do, we got to do it with the best of our ability. We got to seek new ways, new ideas. And I just want to share a little history with you, a little where that I think that we could go forward. I've been fishing for a number over 40 years, 40 something years. And trust me, that's something that I enjoy. Sometimes people meet me and say, but you still go fish? Tell you when I stop fishing, when I feel like I'm not able to move, and me know when. I feel like I could go another 15 years. But one of the challenges that I realize is the lack of, youths getting involved. And I feel seriously that we got to find ways. And it's not just the fishing alone. Because when I look at agriculture, I check for all aspects of agriculture. And I feel like we got ways that we could improve, ways that we could, encourage our youngsters, let them know that, without food, we can't live. And a nation that can't feed itself could find itself in serious trouble. Because we got to depend on people's food and they decide that they're going to hold the food, what's going to happen to we? We can't live without food. So this is something that we really got to take into serious consideration. I mean, let me for the rest of the year, let me take it into serious consideration and look for some real good ideas to go forward. Well, I guess we're gonna share some tonight with you all. I
Yes,
mean, I will see a
facts.
little quick in hello?
Facts. Here's what I want you to do, right? Because I realize we do have a good wealth of you do have a good wealth of knowledge and some plans and some ideas. But here's what I want you to do for me and for I guess many of the other listeners who would be listening. Take us back
Yeah.
to Fox, the little boy growing up. I don't know where exactly in Nevis. Maybe you could give us a little bit about who your parents are so that people who are listening could get that background, and then we move our way up into some of these things. So I just want to give you the opportunity to give us the little boy facts, because you're telling us you're fishing now for 40 something years, and I'm sure people looking at you would say, "Why he ain't look like 50 yet?" So it means that you're gonna start from way back. So tell us a little bit about that history of facts growing up. I think it's in Jessup, right? But tell us the story. I want
Yes.
you to tell us the story.
Well, yes, it's in Jessup. I grew up in Jessup. From the time I was going to school, my aim and desire was to become a fisherman. Is to be a fisherman. That was, and my father, they come from fishing background. My uncle, the most of my family. So I grew up with a fishing family. And as a little boy growing up, we had some real good mentor too. Because we had
Wait,
my father,
hold on,
we had
guys,
Uncle
hold on.
Carlton.
You ain't tell us who these parents are and these uncles are, because I think people need to understand these things so that they can know where you're coming
Yeah,
from.
that's a
Tell us a
good
little bit
idea.
about that.
Yeah, it's Uncle Carlton. I guess people know Carlton Tyson was my uncle. Desmond Tyson was my father. I mean, sorry that they gone, but their name still live on, eh? Still live on powerful. And well, I guess you might know most of my family, but too much you mention, so many things to say, and I grew up doing so many things that are part of agriculture. We go up, we catch crab, we catch fish, and all of my life, I really dig deep in terms of agriculture because I do a little farming, not farming to probably sell to sustain the family home. So we do a little planting, a little bit of this and so. But I really see way for improvement. Um, Throughout the years gone by, we some of the challenges that we face right now. I'm gonna tell you 1 hour. Years gone by, we use most of the products used to export. We used to depend on, people to come in and buy the products. But now we find it extremely difficult to get our products sell outside for some simple reason and some of the things that I can't even understand. And one of the challenges that we have faced right now is the size of the wire, where I complain about. I mean, I want to give you like a short tip, and because so many things to say that I just got to give me. The wire that available to us right now is inch and a half when we used to use inch and a quarter. And if you do realize that for a number of years, probably 15, 20 years, you can't see no goldfish. And the reason for that is because the wire that we're using can't catch goldfish. And I throw it out on the table and I tell him, listen, we used to catch a minimum, but sometimes we catch up to 1,000 pounds in the federation per day. But I go to a minimum at 200 pounds of goldfish per day. When you work out that, that's like 6,000 pounds a month time. When you work out the 6,000 pounds a month, that's $72,000 in value. what we do now, we lose out on that because they can't catch them. And because they can't catch them now, to replace them, they got to replace them with sardine and mackerel and so. So for the number of years you lose millions of dollars where we could have been have to circulate between St. Kitts and Nevis. And I feel like that's a one I feel like we miss out on. And next thing I experienced with the fish pot, really, for the number of years, is that the wire that we get now only lasts probably 3-4 months. When we used to get wire last 2 years. So that's another problem that we are faced right now as fishermen. Sometimes you might say, boy, but fishermen used to catch more fish long time ago. But sometimes you put out party pot, no matter 3 months to 4 months, you got to find another party to put out. When once ago, they used to go for an year and a half, 2 years. So that's a problem we are faced where I guess a lot of people didn't know. Our next problem we are faced, we can't export conch now. And when you work out that, you're talking about millions of dollars, you lose a year time. You might look simple.
Hold on. You say you can't export conch? Why? Why you can't export conch?
You can't export it. They say that you got to go through some lab. Well, I say, but if they're seeking for that, they got to go through a lab. Try and get a lab. Because what we are faced right now, from my understanding, in America, a pound of conch.
Okay, it seems as if maybe a call is coming in on his phone or something that is interrupted.
A pound of conch costs over 20. A pound of conch costs over $20 in this state. And from what I understand, that St. Kitts Nevis got the best quality conch in the world. People acknowledge it and talk about it. Can you imagine we got the best eating conch in the world? And millions of pounds of conch for us just go all and then because we can't harvest them, because we can't sell them. I mean, that's something that we got to look deep into. I saying we got resources. Sometimes we think that only gold and oil and them think they are resources. I mean, we got resources that we could use and generate money from.
But Fox, in relation to the conch, when you say you can't export it, not even to regional countries, because I know at one point there was like a relationship with, I think, is Martinique, that you guys used to ship a lot to. Is it that you can't ship at all outside of St. Kitts and Nevis, or if it is not at all?
You can't do it now. It's illegal. We really try to find a way, but it seems like I don't know if no effort put out, because I'm saying that we trading with other country trading with we, sending their products. Well, why we can't harvest with products and sell them when nothing wrong with them?
Bankie,
they're nutritious.
Bankie, you are aware of the situation?
Yeah. Also, with the fish pot wire, is that there's a wire that they use in where it self-dissolve after with the 3 to 6 months. Because sometimes fish pot they lose, the people they get cut out, the rope get cut off by ropes and different stuff. So they're using this type of to say, well it's to save the fish and them, so the fish them don't die in the pot and stuff like that. So they introduce, you see, when you're saying on the United Nations, all the different stuff and taking people money and taking people things, they're gonna enforce all kind of things per you. You so even when you advertise your monkey, you can't fight the monkey. Is like you're not gonna say, can we beg too much? I keep saying this begging thing. They don't give you, if you're at a lab, they don't give you a lab kind of money. So when you take the lab, then you have to work with all these different guidelines and what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to run your system. Just like the school systems, them things are just passed down. But Virgin, we are still and enslavement, by these European leaders, they're not allowing guy, So if I don't want to be free and I just love because you all whatever think everything is alright because you all some getting through and some ain't getting through and they've shut the eye. We all and suffer at the same time. Because when you hear the gentleman here saying goldfish was one of the main things I used to eat, used to like growing up as a youth, eating fish, in having a junk of bone and it's fleshy, you know what I mean? Not too big, medium size, and then you can't catch these no more. And as you say, it's every minimum a day you catch 200 pounds. Because it's like once you see where you're coming, you have goldfish in the pot. And it's a beautiful fish.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? You can steam it, you can stew it, whatever it is, it don't matter. And these are things that are happening. So when you hear these things, and conchs again, there are thousands and thousands of conchs out there. So because we don't eat conchs fast enough neither. That's an issue. We don't need conchs fast enough. So there are so much conchs out there, and then we now export the conch. So if you need a lab, get the lab, and then they're still going to charge you 10 cents or 5 cents per pound to ship out the conchs. Me not understanding things there again. So it's too much a money-making thing within the Ministry of Agriculture. You see what I mean? Everything is just too much too small charges, which is the government tax you. Tax. It's a piece of paper. You have to pay for the paper for 5 to 7 whether it's $5 and no matter. Everything is a money thing. For me personally, with all the taxes we pay, we shouldn't be paying the bills. We should not be paying for no current, no water, nothing. No healthcare, nothing, because they're taxing us to death. And then they're giving away our money to big hotels because see how the fisherman are ball, farmers are ball too, agro-processors are ball, everyone in the agri sector are ball. You see, there is no funding available for us as farmers, as fisher folk, people in agriculture. Much food are sell for this carnival weekend coming, for this whole carnival coming up here. Rum, agriculture, clothes, agriculture, fat, agriculture. Food is the most important part of this experience. Food. This is just the reality. And we now capture the highlight the part there. We are capture walk up part. We now capture the barbecue grill, the type of foods coming out and all. We not cater for these things here. We are settings the wrong way. We marketing strategies the wrong way in the ministry. We just have these little one events. So when it comes to the carnival part, we are losing the food aspect part of it. Tonight is the food market here, but after that, you're supposed to go around and make people ask how the food they like and the local dishes. These are things you should be promoting when you're speaking, when you talk about, what I mean, the local dishes, think it's Nevis. People should come here and want to be pushing these things, with the conchs, all these different things, what facts are talking about. But yeah, Yahsonn, these are things going on. But if these things are not in the media, because we see when the department advert put out these things, and they tell a boy, sometimes you see a fisherman lose the pot and you don't know the pot there in rough water and hurricane come, the pot go along and fishing and the fish them dead because they can't get out. So they rather, you know what I mean, give you a wire that mash up in a couple of months, it costs you more. That's the way it is. But they got to bring the statistics too.
Well, I am glad that you would have brought that explanation and clarification, because I guess I'm not sure if Alexis was privy to that explanation as well, but it makes sense, I guess, for them and the environmentalists and all that. But at the end of the day, in relation to the farmer now, it is an additional expense, because what he has highlighted is the fact that in past time, that same pot would have lasted him 2 years. Now, as a result of this biodegradable wire, so to speak, it only lasts 3 to 6 months, using the explanation that was given by Bankie there. So, I mean, that is one of the things. But that conch thing, as you said, Bankie, if there's a lab that is necessary, and this is what we're talking about in terms of investment in what they call the blue economy. That's what they're calling it now. If you all are really serious about agriculture, you can't tell me, because I could recall in the past, it was the Tysons, you had Kagi, you had a number of other guys who were exporting conch. Conch was a serious export.
Yeah, but you're talking to the man in front of you. He's the man who orchestrates everything. He's the mastermind with Gary. I hear the man,
Okay. So why not seek to maintain, because we don't export much. I mean, and here is it now, you have an opportunity to create businesses for local entrepreneurs to get an opportunity to harvest, do what they love, go out there and dive, bring in some conch, clean it or do whatever they have to do, and get it shipped out.
Yahsonn,
Yes, I.
you have to let me back up, right? It show you how, if facts gonna have to speak and how much people used to work for them when it come to diving for kongs, when he used to export the kongs, until he almost lose his life when he lost his brother lose his life because of robbing, because paying out for the fisher folks, and then when they bring in the money, the kongs or that lobster, they pay them one time. So the man get the paid. So the man have people from SK work for them, people from here work for them. So the man, his brother lose his life, which is my cousin, paying people then, and doing his business. The man work a dead. So facts have to run for a life. These are the reality. The man just attack. The man live the thing. And the man not get the support. This is the reality. Remember Gary get killed on a beach when the man and a petty man pay people them, you know. So the amount of money the man them not upon them, you know. This is the reality. This is not a butt up thing, you know. So the man is supposed to just forget. A man like Gary is supposed to be forgetful. You need to have the man to have something up to remember the man. Facts at them man is the madly, you know, who also had this hustler going, you know. I support us. I put food in thousands and hundreds of people home, you know, around here, you know. This is the reality, Virgin. So let me talk it real. We ain't supposed to forget people like a Gary. Facts still here. The man still want it to continue. You see what I mean? This is just the reality. The man had the real link.
But yes, it's over 200 people used to be involved, used to receive a salary. I mean, sometimes by day, if they want it by week or month, they get it however they want it. That's how we used to do it, because sometimes we don't know how a man pack it is. So we don't want to say, boy, we're going to pay you a weekend when the man ain't got nothing home to eat,
how much single person, 2 man could say the hire 200 people are over. 2 man, 2 brothers.
Over.
You see me talking about? Eh? This is the reality me talk about. But they're going to take away money, give it to Marriott, give it to Kitchen Hill. They take away money, giving them to these white companies. This is the reality. This is not a butt-up thing. They come here brokes. And then our leaders, them who enslaved by them, they say, give them with money and we not get nothing. Nothing.
So why not?
Period.
No, Bankie, this is serious. I mean, I know the business was going on, but I didn't realize it was that deep. And you're telling me
What do you mean?
that you have an industry that employed fully over 200 people, and you're talking on a regular basis.
No, say 2 man. 2 man. 2 man, not the big company has for and value matter them. 2 single man, 2 brothers. Put it like that. No butter it up. Just like so simple so. That's the reality. For years, Virgin.
Bankie, an industry like this needed to be given any kind of support that is necessary.
Yes, Yahsonn.
You're talking
about family them being a Virgin.
Hold on,
you see the times, yeah? No, let me put in this, because every time you see the times, yeah? Every Christmas, the times, yeah? Uncle Desmond and Uncle Carlton go come up a credit code and me gonna look up a road, my mother get up the road and they gonna give them Christmas money, whatever you give them. Me tell Moses so every week, because some me grew up as a youth with Uncle Desmond. When you end up in the park, I play cricket. If you hit a 6 or 4, you get paid. So that's the man who are bad hustle now. You went over to see Uncle Desmond enter the park. Kid all them if you go knock 4 and 6 or whoever you said up with me card, them get paid $100. So these are the reality. These man was community people, Virgin. You understand? This a lineage continue for years. I employ hundreds of people and then now get the support. So when you see them man are in for the camera, entertainment, and about agriculture, them not serious, Virgin. So you just each man have to just do what they have to do.
And that's why I keep saying, boy, I mean, the man need to understand. Now wait until things happen to say, boy, we should have do this, and we should have do that. Because them hearing it, they hearing it from Bankie all the time. Bankie, I want to ask you a question, man. Because you got the PEP program going on for a number of years, in 18 years. Anybody ever come to you and ask if you could take on 3 or 4 people in the PEP?
I don't call the PEP office already, and people who looking to work and something. I have to hire man, I pay the money out of my pocket. Them man ain't taking me and I taking and they hire who they want. They send the big people in the TDC and hospitals them and all the different areas and government and pay them on PEP. They not give me and you nobody in a PEP. They don't care about me and you. That is just reality. I work in the system. I know the system. The system is function to fail. This is the reality. You all see the voter, you all see $1 million spent on an Indian castle and gone to not. The minister okay. You all see gone to not. You all could see what I face.
I wonder if them really understand what's going on. Bankie, if Chappie could not come in for 1 week,
then
we could be in trouble here. We now realize.
Then okay.
You know, wait until it happens.
Facts, the money could eat. Remember, you know, the money could eat. They could eat the money, they could cook stew with the money, fry the money, stew down the money, put on barbecue sauce, put on what do you call it, jerk sauce, and eat it, and the money could eat. So then I care about agriculture and fishing, and the money could eat.
But Bankie, listen, if you shut down the government offices for 6 months, life can still go on. Shut down agriculture for 6 weeks. You see what happens? You can't live without food. You got to eat. So food security is important. And
no, what we are into right now, we are into tourism, facts. We're into selling passports, selling out our land for large industries who have big ideas but not enough money and willing to give them everything that they need. These guys are just into real estate and hustling the poor people land off to big corporations who don't have the money. We're lawyers and contractors and them and people who have excavators going to turn millionaires while the poor man them going to get the mediocre work here and there and they give you fancy talk and fancy language. They're not going to help you develop your land yourself and empower you and stuff and partner with you and use your own resources for you to benefit from. No, they're going to want to give up your land, give them the money, and then you work for the people upon your land. You can't. People are not ready yet. I
just want to share something. My grandmother told me, right? In 1948, when they had some war, I think England and somebody had war, so it been pop up like a little world war. And he said, and you know them time there, people used to work a lot more land. Agriculture used to be a lot more on a height. And he said, black and white line up to get a cassava bread. Nothing there to eat. So can you imagine 1948 me talk about and nothing there to eat. And it was just a short while. We see what happened now. That no boat could come. What's gonna happen to we?
A lot of the people ain't thinking like that. And
but this is where the breadfruit song come from too. The same situation that Fox talking about with the World War. With the breadfruit song, these are things that people were living after the breadfruit. And that's you understand, that's the song came out, breadfruit. You see what I mean? God bless the man that mow the road, because these are the situations you have to live on. The same food that them have to go. Virgin, we know better, you know. We here preaching this thing here over 5 years, you know. We see the budget then come out in the Nevis Island administration, in the Sinkit Island government parliament, the Federation Parliament. They're not serious. You see the mega budget for agriculture, 23 million, and the Prime Minister budget, nearly 80 million. Agriculture budget is supposed to be the highest. Exactly. That is the reality. These are the reality.
I know some place in England, they might pay people to do agriculture, give you a salary and the product still like you want. You get a salary to produce, to plant food, and the product still like you want. I mean, because they know at least the food that they plant, then I got to import them. And they would be better.
Facts, I want you, I know you did some workshops within the community of Joseph when it comes to teaching the youth and all interested in making fish pots. I want you to talk about that, how those things came about.
Yeah, well, the first thing had really popped up in me and what really drive me to do it. After my brother get gunned down, one day I was driving up the road and I realized why I see a lot of youth to the side of the road. And for a couple of weeks, they passed them there. So one day the vision come to me and said, boy, I should call these guys and teach them to do fish pot. So I decided, okay, let me talk to them. So one day I pass and, tell them, I want to do a fish pot training course and if they would like. And the majority of them come. And they come and they learn this skill. They end up had get contract to brace pot for people from St. Kitts. When that contract slow down, each one of them and branch off and start to work different places. It transformed them in life. Because another thing why I do is when I teaching them, I had an opportunity to talk to them to get to know their inside. So while talking to them to get to know their inside, some of them is really, real good people to be. But some of them does hurt. Good people does hurt more than a person who know really good. And sometimes they react different because of the emotion. But then most of them guys is real good guys. And them same guys. Some of the other one of them met him they just buy a vehicle. The man owning things now, the man ain't on the road does sit down no more. The man is good guy, but you just have to go show them some love. If you talk to them guys and you show them love, boy, them man gonna be so happy, the man show you love. And after that, I did the fish pot training course. The gender feels so what about it? So they called me and asked me if I could do one for them too. Anything for Think It Nevis, anything to enhance the youth them, I can't say no. So I just decided yes. And for about 5 years now we doing it. And it had been a tremendous success. I mean, woman and man come in, and we got girls to come as well and learn this skill.
Man, some of the investment here we have done hotel, restaurant and the beach coma, Sispan, one the first hotel a fisherman ever owned, stuff like that. I mean, I want when it come and then also Uncle Carlton, then guys used to ship things, crabs, stuff to Puerto Rico, St. Croix, all over through the region. So I want to speak on some of the investment your dad had. And so when people see the mango down on their mango started 4 seasons, they don't understand that was your dad one before. So I wanted to speak on those things.
Thank you.
I speak a little bit on that. I mean,
yes.
1 second before Fox get in. Fox, 1 second. We got a call on the line, so let's see if we could get in the caller and then we get back to. So don't forget your thought, Fox. Hold your thought. We'll just give the caller an opportunity to.
no problem.
Wayne, good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening to you guys, man. Yeah, hit up to the guys now, Bankie and yes, their Fox. Yeah, me just have a quick personal question. If that's, the man is from Jessup. The guest is from Jessup's.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, let me get past that. Yeah, man, it's refreshing to hear a local guy is on with you guys tonight. You know what I mean? I just want to let him know Gary was a virgin of mine, same way, And we lost a good person, man. Very, very well-rounded person who's making great contribution to the society there as a fisherman. And I'm going to say, from what I can listen to this guy Fox talking here this evening so far, I know to myself, Gary did all what he could do, and he was successful as far as I can tell, he was successful. And to see that we lose somebody like that, we're going to take a beating. And I'll leave that there. But I just want to know, the difficulty that this guy, Fox, endured with the business side of things. Let me stay with the business and stay professional. What kind of difficulties he endured after the loss? He is able to talk on that. But I just want to pick up the man and let him know to keep doing what he's doing. It's good to hear that, he started a program where he was teaching the youngsters at least how to make the fish pot wires, the fish pots. But, let me ask a quick question. What kind of stuff are you guys using the prison still? When you're making the fish pot, still using the prison sticks?
Yes,
That's one question. That's one question I have for him. And the second question is concerning fishing boats. Is anybody in Sinkers or Nevis, we can stay with the Nevis side, is anybody in Nevis making these fishing boats? And the reason why I'm pointing to that, right, is the fact that we could have had an industry filling fishing boats. And that means that if they used to get the wood from the trees, from the mountain or whatever, and the brazen sticks down, because I know they used to get the brazen sticks from the hills. And that means that they would have had to keep replenishing the forests. You know, in America they have a reforestation program, and they have a lumber industry here. Man, we're not thinking about industry-wise to build up our own, to uplift our own people that way. We need a manufacturing sector, and such thing as what I'm mentioning. We could have had a boat building industry. You know what I'm saying? And we would have keep replenishing whatever wood, cedar wood, or whatever kind of trees the man was using to build them boats. We would have had that. We'd have had to replenish the forest with the brazen sticks and the wood to make the boats. And you know, the government said it there, man. I seen some ads today where the CCM is pushing some ads on top of the Facebook and the internet, and the ads are saying that they are supporting agriculture. They're giving equipment to the farmers, and I'm going to point specifically at tractors. Man, that stuff is false advertisement. Man, the politicians of the day are faking the people out. Some of them ads what they might run and talk about they're supporting agriculture and doing this and doing that. Man, that is totally false. They shouldn't be pushing that stuff on the internet like that when they're not doing it. Man, I asked the question on here before, how much workable tractors they have on Nevis. Man, I think the answer was probably one in the shop. You cannot tell me you run some ads and you're saying in the ads that you're producing and providing tractors to the farmers. Man, let a farmer in Nevis or anyone in Nevis call on here right now tonight and tell me how much tractors they got available for the farmers from the Department of Agriculture there. How much tractors they got in Nevis, working tractors.
Okay, 30 more seconds, Carla.
If somebody cannot, 30 more seconds. Yeah, thank you. If somebody cannot tell me they got any tractors there, the government need to pull them as well. And I'll leave it there. And congratulations to Fox with his contribution to the society. And a nice evening from you tonight, man. A local man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great call, and some great points you would have put on the table there. I think actually, as he highlighted, you know, the making of the fish pots in terms of the bracing sticks, and if you're making boats, that would have created another industry in terms of, you know, the lumber. So there were a couple of questions that he asked. Fox, one is there still people making boats on Nevis, and also if you still use the bracing sticks from the mountain and so on to make the fish pots. And of course, those are two that I remember.
Well, we scarcely find anybody now who making boat. The most of the boats that we use right now is boat that we just repair. Because I have one there that I call the master, and I got that now for 35 years. I got a boat now for over 35 years.
Wow.
And it's still going then. Got a big history behind it. Never lose a race. I mean, that's a good history behind it too. And the name of it is the master. Used to go sink it every year with a boat and win.
Talking about that, there used to be a regatta. Can you remember they used to have that in Nevis? That boat regatta, and a lot of these fishermen used to look forward to that to be able to put their boats in to compete and so on.
Yeah.
What has happened to that?
That they had just fall apart. And then he had one in Sinkage where used to be every year, December, and that run for a couple of years. But what happened to I win it every year for 3 years and a straight. I win it, and it seemed like it just fall apart. And they say, well, boy, a boat from Nevis coming down and win all the time. So he just close up. But for the fish pot stick, we still use stick. But the stick now, outbeat the wire by far. You could take back off the stick them and bring them back in and brush over next that wire. When once ago the wire used to beat the stick. But come back to what Bankie we're talking about. I mean, beachcomber, mango, where they call mangoes right now. I mean, that's the building my father built it. And when he built it, he had coconut tree in front of it. And the man decided, listen, I'm going to dig right around the building because the seawater going to come up here. And when the seawater come, you want to know that it got good foundation so that the seawater wouldn't really affect it. And I live to see the seawater come and pass the building and all. And the building still stand firm. When all the other building that was on the shore side collapse and break up, that is standing firm. And one of 4 seasons, big restaurant right now, I mean, that carry one of the most weights in all of 4 seasons hotel all over the world. Mangoes carry heavy weight. I mean, people does ask about it. I know I got a cousin of mine who come down one time from the state. And he come down and see this he want to go buy mangoes. But when he come and he realized, he said, but this is my cousin father place they were talking about. She can't believe she thought it was something, something different. But, that teaches us that well. We got good vision too. We could visualize things. But sometimes we overlook. Sometimes we overlook the, I don't know, like sometimes people would say, but when college, where you get knowledge. But knowledge and wisdom come from God. And the knowledge and wisdom that come from God is way above where anybody could teach you. And these are the things that we go look into. So sometimes, look down at somebody, you listen to what they got to say. Because sometimes you're missing out on a lot and you don't know, just because you don't listen.
Yes.
But the next thing I would share is like what Bankie was talking about back then when my uncle Carlton and my father was really dealing with the fishing industry and everything, even the youth them. When we finish,
before you touch that, I want to touch the Sispan Hotel, touch the hotel, Community Mambila Hotel, So I want to touch the hotel well, and then we'll go into that.
That as well. I mean, there's so many things that this man involved in, right? That wow. If you got to go talk about the amount of things that he involved, we gonna talk the whole week. But this man guest house.
Yes.
When he built that, he built it, and me I tell you that there host so many sports. People who come in to play sport, culture, any activity in Nevis, that hotel always full. I mean, it's a shame, sorry to say, but it's a shame to see you condition it right now. But I could manfully say, boy, this man had vision. And not just the vision that they had. I could tell you that they were real good mentor too. Because, like I was telling somebody the other day, Uncle Carlton was like this. If he hear a youth do something, what he shouldn't do, he would come in a smart way. He would come, he would ask to see the youth would come, and he would say to them something nice. Well, you look nice to that. Tell them something nice. Form a little conversation, and then he get into why here. And that's a real smart way to approach certain things. They kind of make the youth jump into it one time and, make the youth start to think funny. Show some love first. Tell them, and then you tell them, man, you shouldn't do them things, man. I mean, try and do so and so. And then the youth don't respect you so much that they can try to be the best you can be. And these are some of the things that we're missing out on. But Sispan, This man, trust me, used to carry a heavy weight.
Well, and it did that, and I guess what Bankie is highlighting is the fact that people should recognize that, as you mentioned, even though you didn't go to college, and people might have felt that you already had no knowledge, simple fishermen were able to do that, and were able to, out of fishing, be able to build and construct these kind of ventures, whether it was a restaurant, whether it was a hotel, whether it was a guest house, whether it was, whatever other ventures, that you guys were into. And so I guess it is just highlighting that aspect.
But yeah, he really had vision. He really had some good ideas.
Facts. I know you're going to continue to Uncle Desmond and them, but I know you yourself is a businessman, and you supply oxygen with the diving tanks, and also you rent. You into rentals. Some people rent car, but you rent boat, fishing, and you touch for the two things there.
But yeah, definitely, because like not everybody can afford to buy a boat, but sometimes you want to go and do a little thing on your own. So why decide by I can get two boat, and if anybody want to rent, I will just give them the opportunity to rent, and not rent them at a way that to say, well, take money from them. It based on what they catch. So if you go out and you don't catch nothing out, you don't have to pay nothing. And that's something that would be much easier, because you want to, tell a guy, well, give me $100, or give me $200. I mean, they go out there and catch nothing. I'm kind of discourage them. So tell them, if you catch, you give me something. If you don't catch nothing, well, it's okay. In that kind of way, you kind of encourage them to go again. So that's one of the things. And I also start a ministry where Bankie a ministry to really work along with the youth them. We could really get the youth them to look on the bright side of life instead of look on the dark side. Because a lot of times we see a youth and sometimes we don't know what they're going through. And we just watch them and say they're bad. But at the same time, the pressure them under, reaching a good people, you just go and you just get them to open up to you. Show them some love, they open up, and you get to really understand their problem, and you help them with the little problem they got. And I know a lot of youth who I talk to who had problem. And when they over the problem, you can't believe them. It tends to be like the best youth in the world. Well manageable, like to work, real progressive. And these are the things we want to see. But like I would say, and it comes with some challenges. Anything you do, you're going to do, it comes with some challenges, especially sometimes, like you were just saying, sometimes you don't go to college, you feel like, well, you don't got no knowledge. So if you come with an idea, then I take a second look at it. They just look at you instead of look at the idea and say, no. Then I take a look at it, because I come up with an idea about a ministry I want to really run. And I talked to Bankie about it. I mean, I outline all the programs them that I plan to do. As a fisherman, I outline the programs them that I plan to do. Write a letter and ask for duty-free concession and a vehicle stuff so that we could assemble. If we got to move someplace, we could, I could pick them up and we go and assemble and we do what we got to do. And we come with such challenges. I had to pay $37,000 duty. It's a non-profit organization, something for social services, something that me ain't gonna make no money from, something that me spending me own money for. But I still do it, because I always tell people, a fisherman is like this. You go and see, look how high the wave them be, your desire is to reach back ashore. So you either gonna try to get over them or go around them. So no care how much obstacle come in your way. From your desire to do this, because you know that this is going to be better for us, you do it. So I still do it. And just like you were saying earlier, Bankie was saying, you know, in the gender affairs, they asked me to do the workshop. And the same bus I used to bring somebody use them to be a part of the workshop. The mentorship board, they asked me to be a part of the mentorship board. I be a part of it because, you know, it's something to help our youth them. And at the same bus that used to carry the mentee them, through land sometime and drop them home.
That's
Okay,
amazing
for
to see that the
example, suppose I had
government.
get weak and just decide not to do it. All of that they would have missed out
Yes.
on.
True. It's amazing to see you're seeking concession and you didn't and deny it, and then you're still doing works for the government and in the aspect of community service and using the same bus that they charge you duty and over $35,000. Actually, just show you, you didn't let that deter you. You still continue and do what you got to do, and that's it.
Yeah. But yet still, they had really given me back 2/3 of the duty, and the reason for that is I complained it after doing a workshop for the gender affairs, and I tell them it is unfair. I mean, they see at least if they never see before. Now they see, you know, the effort. So they consider and say, boy, it's true. I mean, we really got to do something, and after they give me back 2/3 of the duty. Which is
they should give all. They should give all half, and not vax, not VAT neither.
But if I always say, if was a person come from outside to do just what he's doing, they would have get a vehicle to drive. They probably would have paid them a salary, and they would have put them up in a house to do the same thing.
Right, exactly.
Not as good. I'm serious. But what? Anything pushing kids and Nevis youths them by anything?
Yes,
Yeah, I would do. Look at where you cast me. Because it's something that all of we can benefit from. Me and Bankie and we want to know, and you're listening public, we want to know that when we home and we get old and we retire from work, we could feel comfortable in our house. We not got nobody come there, we have to anything. So if we could get the youth them to look on the bright side of life.
On the island, when it comes to the fishing landing zone, and not just up is a landing zone, where are the landing zone when it comes to in Nevis, when it comes to fishing and so forth? How we are doing Hanley's Road and different areas. You can name them out. The most where people tend to go and get fish when they're hauling and so forth.
You got Hanley's Road. You got I think Cotton Ground is a part of it too. You got Newcastle, Jessup. Only them at the landing side as you know. But yet still, I feel like we lack and we not show enough interest to the fisherman them, because, for example, fisherman not got no pier that we could say, well, no jetty at all, you could say, well, this belongs to the fisherman now. None.
Gallows Bay?
So you
Gallows
can't
Bay in one down in Chap.
Down where?
You had one there?
He had one in town, but that they destroyed from a hurricane and he didn't repair. Still, well, he couldn't repair, but nobody had repaired.
So when you all go out, you have no fuel area, you can get ice, nothing like that. If you want gas, you have no pier in Nevis, they can fuel up pan.
No.
So all the boats got to go to sing. You have to walk with your boat, your gas and your boat.
Yeah.
It's a craziness, yes,
and madness. Like, if you had jetty and if you had them stuff, you would have encouraged people to get bigger boat. You know, you would have encouraged people to get bigger boat. But
there's another thing, Bankie.
Let me hope.
The other thing is there isn't a place where that is properly set up that if they need to get their boats out of the water quickly also, in terms of like when a hurricane and so on, maybe they need to pull up and get it out of the ocean and so on. There's no place really there that you can just pull up and push back and hook up your boat or hook up your trailer and, you know what I mean, and get your boat out of the ocean. These are things that I think really need to be looked into. And I mean, I am loving this conversation, Fox, because it is really shedding a totally different perspective on the fishing industry. and getting people to see how significant and important it is, and also how financially rewarding it can be for those who maybe considering it, and the opportunities of being able to give back to the community. And I love the fact that you are very much into giving back and demonstrating that you can and is willing to give back to the community. And I think a lot more people need to be able to support people like you guys, outstanding people in society, and seek to give back and see somebody. You as you say, you didn't have any degree and all that, but you're able to benefit from what you would have learned from being on the streets, being with the people in the community, and now you're willing to give back. Before we get back to your facts, there's a call on the line, and I'm gonna give them a minute to weigh in on your response or give your comment. So good evening, caller. Yes, good evening, caller. You're live on the program. Good evening, caller. You're live on the program.
Looking at Fox's face, and I'm going to ask him a question. Did you went to Timberland?
You'll have to raise your voice a little bit. I'm sorry, we're not hearing you loud enough.
Okay. Brother Fox, I'm looking at your face, and I am wondering if you went to Timberland High School, because you look like a long-time friend of mine that I've seen for over probably 40 years. But I could be wrong.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure that you get the question. Hold on, caller. Foxy was saying that your face looked familiar. It looked like somebody went to Gingerland High School, and he was asking if you went to Gingerland High School.
No, I went to the secondary school, Charlestown.
Okay, so no, Carla, that's not the same person. Okay, go ahead with your comment now.
But anyway, let me move forward. Brother Fox, people like you are food providers of the Federation. Whether rain, sun, and if there was snow, your consistency is very, very respected. Fish and the fisheries people are very important to the world. And I pray that you will continue to do what you do best. You are a man who is good at your craft. I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to tell you. Just the way you are, and to see two great men like Bankie and Yahsonn to have you on the show, it got to be something well respected about you. And I received that. The most I can say, and I wish that the government would have helped and funded wherever necessary to keep you guys afloat moving forward. What these leaders have to realize, the sustainability of the country when it comes around food and water. And I'm not ruling out the agriculture sector, that the farmers that will plant their crops. All of you are very important. Should there be a shutdown of importation of the tropical and all the other ships that bring food into the Caribbean on a whole, they can't stop you from fish and catch fish, because you are a fisherman, and it's God put you there. But my prayers are with you, and I hope others will take example from you moving forward. But facts, we have to change this government and this administration. I'm sorry if I hurt any feeling if I got on the political side, but my goal is to help get this government to change, and better is on the horizon. And Bankie is a man who is one of my agricultures, and all of you have something in common. We just want to make the federation and the people of the world and set an example. Once again, I thank you for listening to me and hearing me. And thanks to all the others who are tuned into this program.
Thank you very
Bye
much,
for now.
Carla. Thank you very much. Yes, Fax, that's somebody who has been listening and really want to echo his sentiments in terms of, how we feel about the contributions that you have been making and what you have been doing, and also to encourage people to support, you, and also support people like you who are seeking to do such, for our society and our little Nevis and cities. I don't know if you heard him clearly, but if so, and there's anything that you want to respond to, you can.
Well, yeah, I applaud that Carla. I mean, I'm glad that you can see something in me, because definitely I applaud people who see something in me and could say it. That, because trust me, that's a source of encouragement, because then I know that I am the right track. I mean, if something just come to me thought, and I'm sure Bankie would remember, about 30 years ago, over 30 years ago, me and Bankie met one another in town, and we were talking, and we said, boy, we got to do something to, push Nevis. But you sure that almost 40 years. Bankie probably would be able to give an happy understanding of that. We met and we were talking about we got to do something to enhance Nevis, to make things better so that everybody can benefit. And both of you didn't know that we were this far in terms of he doing, farming, and I doing fishing. And we both make a big impact. And we both want to continue. And we both want to, just put it to our leaders head to realize that we open up, we were willing to take on, probably, Bankie said yes, he would take on 3-4 people from the prep and teach them this skill. I'm willing to take them on as well and teach them the fishing skill, because I'm 64 years right now, about to be 65 next month. And me know how much longer I gonna really stick around. As long as I feel good in my body, I would continue still, but I don't know how long, but I'm willing to teach anybody who, really want to learn. Because trust me, and like I always say, a nation that can't feed itself could find itself in serious trouble. If we can't feed ourselves, we could have in less than a month. If we never not know it, we're gonna die.
Fox,
When
I
he,
think
when,
I'm
when he
going
was
to
in
take a
high
few
school,
minutes and
right?
go through the comments with Bankie. I'm going to take a few minutes and go to some of the comments on the wall, because I think some of the comments on the wall are bringing some information that is necessary as well. Like this last one I'm seeing here that says they had the first fish cold storage up Stony Grove opposite to where the sixth farm is now. That's
Nelta Shop. When Nelta Shop, that's the fish storage. Nelta
right,
Shop, that's the fish storage.
right.
Yes, Nelta Shop, right there.
We had so let's go back to some of the comments. Good night, folks. That's Justice G80, 508 in my neck of the woods. Charles Gaskell says, good night, brethren. Happy to see Fox. Congratulations on your contribution to the sector and wider society. Kevin Hanley says, good night. Good night, Kevin. Sandra Book says, good night, everyone. Janet Grell Hall says, good evening. I'm in the house. Season's greetings to everyone and enjoy the season. Bulby Jones says, great guest. This is a local entrepreneur. Happy to hear from him. Fox, keep up the great work. One love. Bulby Jones says again, wow, a boat for 35 years. Big up Sea Master. That is a blessing. But should go into a museum. Nice. Bye. Fox ain't ready to put that in a museum. Fox is about to get that boat fixed up. And anybody ready for any competition? Sea Master ready. So you study about putting in a museum. Quick question, Yahsonn. Does the divers have a decompression chamber yet on Nevis? A certain politician promised one to the divers of Newcastle. Quick answer. Is there a decompression chamber in Nevis? Sorry, chamber in Nevis yet?
No. I think he got one in Sinkit.
Well, they have one in St. Kitts, but not in Nevis. Okay, so Yansabal, no, not in Nevis, but I think he's saying that there's one in St. Kitts. And he says that's where the fish, and the person who said that the fish, Evan Nisbet said that the first fish cold storage was up in Stony Grove, and he also said that that's where the fish and other seafood products were kept before export. So that's on the YouTube platform. I'm gonna run over to the Facebook and see what's going on over there. Bernadette Tyson says that's Desmond for real. Gigi and William Skeet says Yahsonn, the politicians are for themselves. They don't care. They're killing the island so they can sell it out to destiny, breaking the spirit of the people. They want our people to be a people of servitude. They only see us working in hotels, serving people, selling out our lands to foreigners who don't give one about us. That's right. Back to the plantation that the people aren't paying attention. Jetty Taylor said, Bankie, is it okay if I send a Christmas drink to you and Yahsonn to Marlene and MoneyGram? Well, my parents say when people offer, you always take and just give thanks. So, you know what I mean? I don't answer for Bankie. So just give thanks. Send it in and we give thanks. We bless it.
Yeah, man. We appreciate it. Enough respect. Great appreciated.
Yes, I. Kevin Hanley says, congratulations, uncle. Okay, and so that's it for the.
Yahsonn, your pause. Can't hear you. Can't hear you, Yahsonn. You're breaking up.
Sorry. We take some time out to pay attention to those folks who we have on our Facebook or YouTube wall, because sometimes, without them, we're just here talking, by ourselves, and we won't even know if we have people listen to us. And so we do appreciate them, and we want to make sure that, whatever comments and questions and so on that they have, as long as we do have the time, we take them in. And we also take that time to give our guests an opportunity to take a break too, because sometimes, the guests may be talking and so on. And so we take that time to give you a little breather, facts. But I think so far, based on the comments and the responses that we're hearing, the people are loving the fact that you are here. The people are, very much appreciative of the contributions that you all have made over the years, you and your family. And we as I listen, I could hear the sincerity in your voice, in your utterances, in terms of how much you really want to help as much as possible and give back as much as possible. And I am hoping that as we push this show and it's coming on to the end of the year, that one of the New Year wish your mic is on mute. Your mic is on mute. Your mic is muted. Okay, now I'm hearing you. Now I'm hearing you. No, I'm hearing you now. I'm hearing you now. Sorry. No. You're good now.
You hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, hearing you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I said I didn't understand. I didn't get to hear you clearly the last couple of things you had said because I had loose contact.
Yeah. Okay, seems like you're gotten frozen. Yeah. I was just saying that the contributions that you guys have made, you and your family, it is something that is worth noting, and the people, I think, are very much appreciative. And I'm hoping that as we do this show, that those who are in the position to do so can do whatever it is to give you the opportunity to help to pass on the skills, whether it is the fish pot training, whether it is learning the business of putting in the oxygen in the tanks and so on, and maybe just help with getting a proper place to do all of those other things that you would love to do for the fishing sector, have a proper, place together. And I think that is something that is worth really looking into, especially seeing that as we started, one of the first things you said was if we're unable to feed ourselves, and what happens if the tropical boats are not able to come in. And so we have to really think about, protecting the industry that we have. You spoke about the conch industry that is here now, that is dormant because we don't have a lab. And so thousands and thousands and millions of dollars that would have been made on an annual basis by people who, who are part of the industry are just sitting there because of lack of a lab. So,
Buddy.
go ahead.
Yeah, I said, but you know how it does hurt me inside sometimes when I see, because I tell myself, these are the resources. These are things that we could generate money from. These are things that could make life better for all of us between St. Kitts and Nevis. And we just let resources go down to waste. I mean, they don't live forever. They live for a while and they die. Even though you may not see them. So when you're thinking about why you're losing millions of dollars just because a lack of knowledge, I mean, even if you don't got the knowledge, lad, listen to somebody now. I mean, listen, and this is something that could easily fix.
What
mean,
about the lobster?
Huh?
Go ahead. Then I finish. Finish up what you're saying. Then I ask your question when done.
No, I said, what really happened with the conch then? They don't live forever. And what they would do, you may not see the conch shell from the dead conch because God created it in such a way that what they do, when they're about to die, they go back under the sand, they bury themselves. So you wouldn't see the dead shells then. And that's nature, eh? they bury themselves. So, but I do hope that,
That's quite interesting.
for the coming year, I do hope for the coming year that they could take it into great consideration, whoever it may concern, and think seriously about it. Because, I mean, it's going to be good for all of us. All of us can benefit from it. I mean, who wouldn't like to see all our youngsters live in a nice house, driving a nice vehicle, and living comfortable? But if we stop, if we stop these kind of income, where we could get income from, where we could produce and make money from, and we cut off the resources, then how we gonna generate money? I mean, these are what we can't depend on tourism alone.
What about the lobster industry, facts, and the turtle industry? I know those are two other large industry, the lobster and the turtle industry.
Even the lobster does thing. When the tourism open, then you probably might be able to get the lobster and sell. But when you find the hotel and closed down and thing, we're back into the same thing. Find it difficult. You catch lobster and you gotta let them go. You catch lobster and you gotta leave them. You could
So you
catch
can
lobster,
export them in
you got some
exporting?
yourself. Huh?
What about exporting lobster and turtle? You can export lobster and turtle?
Well, not as you wish. But total, total got a season on it.
Yes.
Total got a season on it.
Bankie, Fox, 1 second. We got a caller on the line again. So hold on. Good evening, caller.
Yes, thank you again, Yahsonn. Thank you, and Brother Fox. And I am touched to see the fact that the question that Yahsonn asked is not anything established, like if you want to take your boat on the ocean, especially around hurricane, to protect for the next phase of the storm can come out again. I mean, that is just show how fully maintained the fishing industry is, and it's running at risk. Because imagine you can't get your boat out of the water, and that boat is your water, and it feeds the whole federation. Okay, and not even that, as a committee, just like they have traffic, there are rules and regulations for traffic on land. They should have the same thing for fishermen. Fishermen is more important. People as new vehicle and they drive upon and know what something they're doing to the country. What they're giving to the country. What is the benefit? But fishermen will always benefit. Okay? Fishermen will always be a servant to the country. So those things. But you know what? You all should try to put a committee together and in writing, these are the necessities that needed to have the fishing industry to be a progress moving forward than to just think of it and forget it. You need something to be put together. You need to document a plan, a business plan that will benefit all.
All right, thank you, Carla. You are dropping out, Carla. I'm not hearing you. We're having a difficulty with the call. I think he's saying something, but I'm not hearing it. So, let's continue, Fox. Sorry about that, Carla. Nothing on our end. Probably something on your end.
Yes,
okay. So yes. You know, I think you are touching a lot of people out there with, you know, sharing the story, sharing your story. It seems as if there's another caller on the line, so let's. Okay, Bankie.
On the line.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Carla.
I wish my uncle, the grandfather, all the best, and tell him to keep up the good work. And a good night.
Fox, Kevin, say good night to you.
Okay. Good night, Kevin.
Good night. Good night, Yahsonn.
Yeah, good night, Kevin. Good night, Kevin.
Anything else you want to say?
Kevin, good night.
And just wishing you guys a Merry Christmas when it comes to Happy New Year for 2026 and the best New Year. And thanks to Gaskell for taking me out fishing. I had a good time with him.
Okay,
and,
great.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so that was Kevin, young Kevin, Lil Wicked, Rogue. So just bigging up Gaskell for taking him out and for their fishing. So that was a great thing there. So big up Charles with that. And so yeah, Kevin, thanks for calling. He like radio, Yahsonn, so we have to get him in one this time and the show and stuff like that. So and that is a good way to go.
Yes, definitely. Fox, you know, I am touched by a lot of the things that you have been doing, and you know the struggles that you continue to endure, and I really hope that you know those who are in the position to do something about this economy, and you know you don't have to work on it by yourself. You know, Fox them have already set the foundation. All you need to do is assist. Give them the little impetus, you know. They need a lab, set up the lab. I mean, they already had 200 people employed. Over 200 people. Let that cement in. Two brothers had over 200 people. And we're not talking about no serious businessmen, like no big company. Two fishermen were able to employ over 200 people for a number of years. And now, part of that industry has sort of died because we're saying we need a lab, and y'all are looking to sell out the lands because y'all can't get investors. Why y'all ain't investing in y'all own people? Why is it that y'all are not investing in facts? No, I am trying to wrap my head around this. I mean, is it that they didn't know these facts? Is it the first time they're hearing this? Is it the first time that like it's news to them, like it is news to maybe a lot of who are listening now? Because I'm really trying to fathom this.
Yahsonn, how much loans they give away to all these big companies? with no interest. They don't care about us. Our leaders don't care about us.
But
When you think
Bankie,
about it, all the parties and them that has for the last 15 years been doing this thing, they don't care about us.
but we go back. We talk about just now. Somebody talk about the fact that the first cold storage that was in Nevis was up, and it was as a result of the parents of these same people here who we're talking about. We
Yeah,
could
so
talk
in the
about
high school,
just a little further
up there, so got
after.
in group are bigger than
Same
me and you.
Gary.
The group and them is going to take out bigger than me and you.
But Gary
300
set up
pound.
his own over there to Bankie
Yes.
to continue
C-span
the
had
same thing again.
ice thing down by C-span. We buy ice down by C-span to at the back.
Yeah,
You're going to buy
remember that
ice
that
by
was
the
one of the
regular
first.
bucket.
Yeah, man, he had a big
Yes.
cold store in there.
Of course. Yeah, so let me tell you something, right? Let me give you a joke. The freezer I used to up by Nelta shop when we were in high school. They might have had a jacket inside there. Big, thick winter jacket. And the biggest winter jacket we ever seen in times, right? And that I had to wash because when you want to go up before anything, we tell you what you have to run in a real winter up the me. Like a snow come out to the freezer there. Well, yeah, man, Uncle Desmond, Uncle Carlton, then the man had did it. These are men that the man should have honored and give them, when they're giving all the musicians and something, MBE and something, these men should have been honored the same way in the industry that they have accomplished at the magnitude that they are at the highest of the highest. This is just the reality. But we honor who we want to honor. We not honor farmers and fisher folks. That's the sad thing about it.
You know,
Right, Fox.
Bankie, you know, the other day I was walking through an area that we call the bag. When I walk through there and I see so much a crab grow old and dead, I say, boy, in my young days coming up, there's no way them they could grow old and dead. Because we used to export them. We used to, man, that, you know much time that buy me school books and uniform? Because
Right now, most
that's
of the
what we do.
crabs is going to
Yeah, we go
Antigua for
crabbing
carnival.
and sell them, and the same two man. My father, Desmond and Carlton, them daddy two, and we used to buy them and every week
Yeah,
a
but
plane come in and collect.
I
So
remember
as
those
a
days,
young
Kingsley,
boy
going to
going
the
primary
Kingsley.
school, as a young boy going
Kingsley
primary
has got,
school, I would have been making a salary too. Still, at
of
a
course.
young age.
But that continue all up into the 90s and still happen. And right now, when the Antigua Carnival, they have the breakfast fed with Dr. Twaits up there. Most is the one who have the contract to catch whatever is 3,000-4,000 crabs and go up to the breakfast with Antigua and stuff like that. So it's want to big up muscle and all them man who going out and still catching the Wilkes and doing the thing, Sheldon and all them man who on there doing the hustle and so forth, keeping the tradition going alive. So big up Sheldon, big up muscle. All them man who doing the local seafood thing and so forth. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But those are the resources. So we got to use the resources that we got to generate money. We can't let the resources them go to waste. I mean, sometimes when I look at mango and so, and seeing that on the road we driving on mango, I say, boy, we really got to come up with something, you know, to use the resources them that we got. You know how much money we lose?
I love the perspective. I love the way you're looking at it. And I think a lot more need to look at it that way too, Fox. Looking at the money that we are losing by not doing some of these simple things that can be done. But before I allow you to continue, there's a caller on the line, so we're gonna give the caller an opportunity to weigh in. Good evening, caller. Just remember you have to speak up a little loud, even if you have to shout a little bit, because I want to make sure that he hears you on the other side.
All right, good evening there. Mr. Tyson, Mr. Browne, I think the last name. Fox from school years. Listen, I just wanted to make a little input because I remember it is when I used to pick up all the pilot stuff from Newcastle input, and I'll bring them into freezer you talk about them by high school. Like Nelta, the fishes right now. And I remember taking them to Debbie's Disco. They used to have food there as well. And 2 Jessups. And we do all of it in one morning, one day. We bring the pilots in, and then, Tyson, Desmond and Carlton, they would have them pick up. And they'll bring them to the airport and throw them onto the plane. There's a chairman called Clint, the Hero. So flying from St. Thomas in an Hero Commander. And he used to take out the biggest load. The Hero Commander. When the plane come in, he really like it touch the ground. I remember the days when Tysons, what it meant for foreign exchange. If you want US, you start out the man will start you out. Carlton and Desmond Tyson. Then you want US, you want to send man, or you want to somewhere else. You want some US, you just find them and will sell it some US. That's the kind of business they man used to do. Planes used to come in here from Guadeloupe, Martinique, and take stuff out. I remember taking guys down to the ports. I mean, guys are coming from Guadeloupe, fishing boats, speedboat. You load them up, and they got back stuff. That's the kind of business these men used to do. And when you say that these guys need to be honored, these are the guys who used to carry the load around here. Food, these gentlemen used to be. I mean, these guys go through rough times and all, but they survive. I remember once the 14 ferry ran over one of the I think the Carlton guys boat. In the night they couldn't see. And I think they didn't take care of them there. The man home. That man maled up down there and sank. Anyway,
Yeah,
I want
man.
to give up Alexis because Carlton and Desmond it's like they don't get the recognition they deserve. And Fox carrying on as the Fox in a little seminar teaching fish pattern, fish pattern, that kind of thing. But just a playing field or something like that, or just a community center. You start to Fox now.
Yes, man. Enough respect.
Yes. All right, guys.
Yeah,
So-
man. Give thanks, Carl.
Yeah, so I want to touch on what the caller was speaking about when it come to what these guys handle so much of US dollars when Moses checked me in the farm on a weekly basis. It is one thing he used to speak about. Even the bank and them used to come out when they were in US. Anybody who traveling to Uncle Desmond will call to, but just because the man got more US than the bank. Because the man got plane coming weekly from Puerto Rico, as the caller testify, these are reality. These guys are well known and really should have been acknowledged within the community by all governments, and these things have not happened. And it's not too late still, because they should remember. Because what they have done, they have fed thousands and thousands of families throughout the region, and their descendants still continue it. What King's Leper Credit Code? If you go by Chol tomorrow, Chol them men net. Chol got men work for him for years, never not work for him. Chol employ King, his brother employ people the same way weekly. Human now fix boat, man just on by King's the weekly men net. Man out pan see a drive boat. And the man out there so with the come in to drive them on, collect the fish, drive on the island, sell fish. So you see how much everything is coordinated. Some man not touch this water, you know? Some man job just to shop at his yard and amend the net. Some man job is just when the boat come in, drive down the truck, pick up the fish, go sing it, go sell, who go in a Nevis to sell, and they just come up to here, pack up on the freezer, because still have to sell. Some of them as bait again for fishermen to get bait to put in the fish. And the man still sell ice. So you see how these man still is, and everybody know Kingsley, always barefoot, walking down the place like okay. But the man employ people all the life and still do it. These are the reality, Virgin. These are the reality of what Uncle Desmond, Uncle Carlton them had said. And his dinner and the children still doing it. Still doing it. But yeah, so let me say this. We have a show at 9 o'clock. So we're gonna start a wrap up anywhere between 10 to, so at least we get across over to Ira and Reese for real talk corner. So but I just had to put that in this, at least we don't lose track of what we're dealing with. But Facts and them need to be, and his father and them, the people, the Jessup need to be honored. Along with, cause that's one of the fishing ground. You still have Gallows Bay as a fishing ground. You still have over what is Whitehall, which part over the mills and them, the Mickey Mills and them we don't the name, which shut them there. Down there is Whitehall Bay, the beach down there, so what you call on your son? The beach, that's and then Hanley's Road. So you got about 5 fishing area they used to pull up, because they used to pull up there by Mosquito Bay by Oli, but since the Billy Pier there, they ain't pulling up there no more. So that one had that lose that fishing ground right there.
Yeah, hold on. We got a caller. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Shadan, and back to Mr. Alexis and Bankie. Hey, listen, something came across my mind. It's not the best of experiences, but I'd like to go back to it. Let us not forget. There was an accident that the gas of the boat. And everybody lost it. Crash. This goes back to, I believe it is 1976. I was in second farm. So the man and his license that he did it.
Yes, son, I can't hear the caller. Till the caller speak up.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Caller, you need to put your the phone closer to your mouth so that we can hear you.
Okay, I was saying, I believe it was 1976. I could be a year after, but I believe I was in second farm. And it would have been 1976 when the lobster plane crashed over at Yahsonn. And that plane came here to the Tysons. That's how far back those men, the businesses go back.
Right.
In that magnitude.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, lobster planes are coming here. I mean, it was those planes that had the single wheel in the back. I can't remember the name of the plane, but these are real old planes, American planes. I can't remember the name of the plane, but yeah. This goes back as far as about 1976. And
wow.
Yeah. That's how long these man in business, and they were in business before that because they were well known by then.
Right.
They were well known by then.
Yeah, man.
So we need to the people in charge, we need to really make recognition of the people who build this country. You find they want to get honored, some politician or something. I mean, if you're not a politician, you're not get honored. No matter what you do, they don't seem to think that the local man who carry the load, they don't think he should have. They need to look at. But I believe, people make the contribution, they should be honored. They should be honored. All right.
Thank you very much.
And good program.
Thank you very much, caller.
Yes, son.
Yeah,
yes, son. Let me
you.
say this, eh? Let me say this. The caller that was on the line, I mean, people hear him from time to time calling on different radio show and whatever. But the man is an engineer, the man is a scientist. And these are people that the government should hold on and have them in an environment where they can be passing on their skill set. When people see this man driving hard in a 40-foot trailer, a low bed, with a black span, he make that there, Them man are engineers, scientists, People are either bringing flatbed from overseas. Here, Billy Owen flatbed, bringing all the material, everything from overseas, and well, everything to get a boom, and a function better. So when you have people like these are the kind of people in our society. These are not just regular people calling on a radio show and voicing their views, These people have skill set that not even those who have the highest brains and went to the best universities and are scholars can fathom the kind of brain cell people like these guys have when it comes to the geniuses. These guys are scientists and engineers, and they're not given the respect that they deserve. A king not gonna earn in his own castle, in his own home, you know. These are people who should also be honored and should be in an institution at the highest, teaching people, the youth, of them this skill set. You see? But these people just see as a normal person. But these guys are the normal. These are the normal thing. Yes, when you see a man build a whole flatbed together and do other geniuses. I watch this man to the whole, we can't do the Suzuki Jeep, the old Jeep that the other man have, the Suzuki Jeep, put on bumper phenomenon, so we go to lumber. Geniuses, creativity. Big up yourself, Carl, just to put in that still, you know. Enough respect.
Yeah, man, definitely. I must say that, you know, most of the folks who are listening, and you know, even those who didn't call in, but there are lots who are on the various different platforms and are sharing their views and opinions. Justice G80 says we need visionary leaders. Jessica Jarrett says good night. Too much feedback. There's a lot of noise in the background. Justice says, say it again, Bankie. Burby Jones says some of these toxins are not destroyed by cooking and causes the illness from fish poisoning. What's the reasoning for the lab? Okay, so I guess probably Evan is getting late, but the lab, they said that they need to test the conch before it is exported. And so that is one of the reasons why
for bacteria. Make sure the animals, just like when you have the fish will carry a high mercury bacteria, just making sure they're safe. Okay, looking at make sure they come to anything shipping seafood is of a high standard. But these are things that could be implemented if a lab is needed for these things when it comes to international standard for shipping or stuff, which is fine. That's understandable. Just put these things in place. But go ahead.
Right. Burby Jones says all those short coconut trees in the bogs died out. What about the guy from Jessup that survived on that plane that crashed back in the day? Was that Babs? Was that the crab plane? Was that in the 70s? I was in Lowland School. Somebody says, Burby Jones, you mean Escape? The real grassroots show tonight. The sweetest jelly water was from those sharp jelly trees that were in the bags. Okay, those are the comments. And then somebody says Long Haul Bay. I guess they were talking about the different landing points.
Yes,
so
beach. Yeah, give thanks for that for Long Haul Bay. Appreciate that. Yes. Give thanks for that for Long Haul Bay.
Anything you want to comment on Fox based on the comments that we would have read out just a moment ago?
Yes, the plane with Escape, the plane was carrying crab. I think it had conchs, conchs, lobsters, a lot of things from the sea. They had as well. That used to come in every week. Every week he come in for, a shipment.
How we get to this point, Bankie? I mean, you're listening to this, and these guys are talking about back in the 70s and 80s and so on, and we hear the same thing when we spoke to Willie Doe, rest in peace, my brother. But he spoke to what was happening in St. Kitts and Nevis in terms of agriculture back in those days, and you're talking about the fishing side, Alexis, or Willie Doe was talking about the agricultural side where they would have had, avocados and all of these things that they're shipping to different parts of the Caribbean and so on, and even back to the UK. What are your thoughts? Because I guess I want to ask you, because you would have been, you are now living through, because you would have lived through those days, and now you're living through these days. And what are some of the things you think are the reasons why we are not that way today, and why we seemingly are not seeing the need to go back to investing in things like these?
Even how I look at it, I look at it this way. I wondering if government feel like they're making enough money from it. they're looking at, because I said I just can't understand how so much of the products must just go to waste. I mean, we gotta find ways in order to, because listen, if $1 billion dollars come in on Nevis and spend, the government gets 17% out of that. And if you spend the other day, you get another 17% out of that. And if you spend the other day, you get another 17% out of that. Every day, the money, because money go from one hand to another. So even if you know come in straight to the government hand, as long as you're in the federation, the government gonna, you know, you understand? Government gonna benefit. And these are the things that they got to understand. Even though the money don't come straight to them, as long as you're in the federation, they're gonna benefit. Because every
Bankie,
time you spend, you get a percentage.
I laugh when I heard the comment that he made, because that is something that I keep saying all the time. That's one of the reasons I believe why they don't empower farmers and fishermen and so on, because they feel like we ain't gonna give them the $1 million under the table for the campaign fund. And they feel like we still have that crab in a barrel mentality amongst some of our people, sadly so. Sometimes you find that very much up with the people who we elect to represent us. Where they have that sort of mentality where, okay, let's look at simply businesses on a whole. Look at the kind of incentives that they give to so-called foreign investors. And then you have local investors like you, because let's use you right now because you're here on the platform with us. You have just told us that you and your brother were employing, and back in Desmond time, Carlton Desmond time and so on, were employing over 200 people, some being paid daily, some being paid weekly, and some being paid monthly. But these people were working for you guys on a regular basis, fully employed. So
Yes.
why not give incentives to guys like you so that you all could continue to employ people and keep people out of trouble and keep people out of problems and help to feed many other families? Why?
I asked myself the question as well. I had asked myself that question, but the answer seemed not to come.
Yeah, so we got to give time to wrap up for the next show for 9 o'clock. So give Fox the time to wrap up and bring in them guys for 9 o'clock.
Yes, definitely. We know we would have had an excellent show this evening, my brother, and we're definitely gonna have to have you back probably sometime early in the year next year, because I think based on the feedback so far, and personally, I would love to continue this conversation, because I know there's a lot of things that you have not even touched on that you would still love to really share with the people as well. But we're gonna give you a minute or two to wrap up, because we have another show coming up in a couple of minutes. We have Real Arcana coming up. So folks, don't pop off the channel. Stick and stay with us. We're gonna be back in just a few. But Fox, we're gonna give you a couple of minutes to give your closing remarks and your closing thoughts.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Anytime Bankie call me, it's always a pleasure to really come and be a part of this. Because, anything that I could do to educate the people in St. Kitts and Nevis so that we could move forward. Because me ain't a person who want to be stagnant. I want to go forward. I want to know that we reach a stage that everybody in Nevis could feel comfortable. Everybody in Nevis could feel happy. And it's always a pleasure. And I applaud the listening public who really touch and, understand. We cry and decide to, give them input. I applaud them. And for me, my aim and desire, man, it ain't me one me got you. My aim and desire is to do whatever I can do to enhance the people in St. Kitts and Nevis so that we could get a better way of living, that we could sustain and feed ourselves. Because I keep saying we cannot depend on people out there to feed me. Because suppose they stop, but they decide, no, we ain't gonna give you we food. What gonna happen? What gonna happen to we? So I do hope that we take these words into great consideration, put in your ear, and change the thought and try and think on the positive side. And we wanna be on the positive side. I mean, this if they didn't know, and like I always say, you got to know where you are to know where you're going. If you know where you are, you know where you're going. So I hope that they take these words and find out where they really are so that they could know where they're going. So it's always a pleasure, man. I ain't want to keep to telling. It's always a pleasure to be a part of this program. And I applaud the listening public and so forth.
Give thanks. Okay, well, we have a caller who have a quick question they say for you. So it's gonna be a 10 seconds call, quick caller. Quickly.
Okay, very quickly. This is a fundamental question, man. Both each one of you guys gonna be shocked when I ask this question. We cannot have a fisherman on this show explaining how to make a fish pot without answering him this fundamental question. I want Fox to explain to people why and how fishes are being able to swim into a fish pot based on that mechanism and how they make the entrance way of the fish pot. Why and how fishes are able to swim into a fish pot, they cannot swim back out. I want Fox to explain that shortly before he gets on. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. All right, I really wish that caller had that question a little bit earlier. But a quick response to that.
Yeah, well, what happened is when we finish make the fish pot, we put in a thing they call the funnel. That would lead the fish inside the pot. And then what happened is fish mostly swim straight across. And in order for them to come out, they would got to swim up, but they mostly swim straight across. They wouldn't swim up so easy. So that's when I would really keep them in the fish pot. If the fish pot cock up a little bit so that they could swim across still, they would come back out. So the pot got to be level.
Well, you learn something every day. So, and I'm sure a lot of people would be wondering, probably would have been wondering about that as well. So, good question, Carla. We just got a couple of minutes, and we want to thank you very much, Alexis, for being here and being a part of the program. I think it has been a wealth of knowledge that has been shared. I myself have learned a lot, and I am really grateful for your humbleness and how much you are so dedicated and passionate about giving back your experiences to young people and to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I'm hoping that those who are listening, more young people from your community and or anywhere in Nevis who are interested could, use you as a model and go around and try to learn as much as possible so that, that we can pass this on. I want to thank all of the callers and those who would have commented on the Facebook wall or the YouTube platform. To thank you all very much. We definitely look forward to having you next week when we do that, tribute program where, if you want to call
Friday, Yahsonn. This Friday, we're starting this Friday. Friday with the Everything Agriculture show. The viewers appreciation show.
Viewer appreciation. I'll try to remember the name. Yes. Viewer appreciation, where you can call in and weigh in your thoughts on how the show has been over the years. If you want to critique us, you can critique us. If you want to, give us any commendation, if you want to talk about any specific show that you enjoyed or you loved, and, we're open to all that. If you want to just send out greetings or whatever it is, we're going to do that for you starting Friday. Thank you all. Thank everybody. Bankie, I'll give you the opportunity to close out, and then we let those other guys take it away.
Well, I just want to thank the listening and viewing audience for sticking with us on this another Tuesday evening on the Topics and Real Entertainment Network. Most of the other shows have already cut off, did the shows last week. And the Topics and Everything Agriculture show and Real Entertainment, we don't take breaks the agriculture sector don't have no half days. Well, people are partying, having fun. Then the farmers and fisher folks still have to make sure have these resources, the raw material, so they can entertain and be fed after they use up their energy. And this is what the sector is all about. So even though some is fretting and whatever, we still got to be in the farm, make sure tomorrow to get up, make sure I have soil and available watermelon, cucumber, and all these different sort of season pepper, tomatoes. So remember the topic is sponsored by Shabazz Organics and Mansell's Last Stop. So over at Cades Bay, come out and support. Right now we have watermelon, crimson sweet, Charleston grey, cucumbers, dry coconut. We have plantain, bananas, cassavas, also tomatoes, bell peppers, seasoned peppers, sugarcane. So come on out, star fruits, pomegranate. So come on out, visit the farm, get a tour, get your fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. And from Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays, you get your carmeal and fish and your oxtail or chicken and whatever choice cuts. But soul food, so big up Amanis, big up Tasha, and big up Aisha. 3 young ladies who hold on the shop and keep the business going, and I hold on the farm and we work together. So thanks for all those who keep coming and support Mansell's Last Stop and Shabazz Organics. Remember to go out and support the night market and St. Kitts that are going on right now. We'll finish about 12 o'clock, so you still have plenty of time to go. Remember the Nevis abattoir is down there with all the different smoked meats and hams and rotisserie chicken and all this different great stuff. Remember, you can also get yourself at the abattoir tomorrow. Just go up there, tell Gary, Bankie said you'll get what specials they have, all the different choice cuts and bacons and different hams and whatever you want. Everything is also available at the abattoir. So, facts, just want to tell you again, family, thank you for always coming out when I call upon you to speak out to the people and give them some of the insight we're going on in the sector of fishing and stuff like that. So, greatly appreciate it, and definitely looking forward to visiting you in the upcoming new year again. Yahsonn?
Yeah, man, give thanks, facts. Definitely, we had a great show. Really, quite informative, educational. Bankie, enough respect. Real Entertainment Network team. Enough love, people. Go on over to the YouTube platform, subscribe, click on the notification bell. Until Friday, when we get into viewers appreciation. See you guys. Until then, enough love, everybody. Guidance and protection.
Off with somebody else, off with the jerk. With the shame on me, I really thought that it could work. Off with somebody else.